Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22, and it's time for another Season 9 2009 game mode. Now I will have to tell you, this was recorded well before the latest update that gave us the Moto 2 bike, so there is a few sort of graphical glitches and issues that I had problems with since the update, but yeah, after this video the rest will be all sorted as we dive inside of Valentino Rossi for this Season 9 2009 game mode right here in Donington Park. Now the idea is that we're going to be trying to finish in first place to replicate Andrea Dovizioso's only win with the Repsol Honda, and then distance the second position by at least half a second. So getting a little bit of wheelie there as we now go firm on the brakes for the left hand side for the S's here now, to bring it in nice and tight once more, and a track limit warning given early on here to Andrea Dovizioso as we'll try and outbrake the Spaniard going into the right hand side. Of course Dovizioso and Lorenzo a couple of years after this one, well I say a couple, quite a long time after this one, 7 to 8 years after this particular moment, boy Lorenzo and Dovizioso became teammates on factory Ducati bikes. Of course, well documented they don't particularly like each other, so up on the inside went Dovizioso, now leaving Goddard's. We are just a couple of tenths away from reaching Tony Elias as we do set the fast lap of the race so far. Of course, assisted in that last couple of laps with the autopilot. Now coming out of Redgate, we're going to try and get into the slipstream of Tony Elias, the San Carlo Grassini Honda rider, keeping it nice and tight to Hollywood and keep it even tighter for the crane of curves, just clipping the apex there on the rumble strip. But we now go to the right hand side for the old hairpin once again, nice and tight, bringing on the power, bringing it into the left hand side here for Starkey's Bridge, and then bringing it in, going up into to Schwann's Curve, and then of course into McLean's. But for power setting 2, I'm going to be using for the majority of this one. I do find with power setting 3, with the Honda in these conditions is a little bit too aggressive, so I'm going to just stick in power setting 2 for the time being, and hopefully with the slipstream effect we can get in close enough to have a lunge on Tony Elias. So now braking rather firm into the S's for the left hand side here, really close now to the Honda, pushing the Honda man a little bit wide there, but right on the cusp, right on the precipice of moving up on the inside and taking the lead here into Donington, my home GP of course. Up on the inside for the Melbourne hairpin, Elias has been pushed wide, Dovi has taken the lead and is now chasing his first ever victory within the MotoGP class. It's absolutely baffling to think that this was Dovi's first win, and then it took him all the way up to 2016 to take another victory in MotoGP. Seems crazy that actually happened, but it did. A 131.412 goes Dovizioso into Redgate, and now we can finally bring on the power and keep Tony Elias at bay. I do believe we have this one in the bag, so to speak, but we'll see what happens for the next couple of lap times. So into the crane of curves for turn 3, firm on the brakes for turn 4 now. Keep it in nice and tight, and then slowly line the motorcycle up to go straight underneath the bridge. Keep it in nice and tight without touching the rumble strip, because touching the rumble strip there can be sometimes quite lethal, so do be careful on that left-hander now. We're bringing on the power coming out to McLean's. We're going to be trying to get it right going into Coppice, a very innocuous corner. Even in the dry, that corner can be really tough to do, and looks like we just made a bit of a hash of Coppice there, and Elias is down within 0.2 of a second. Have I just absolutely blown this? This could have been an absolute bottle job from DrAce, but we'll try and get it right going into the S's now for the third and final time of asking in today's part 1 of the video, and hopefully we can hold him back a little bit longer to get the 0.5 of a second. Our slowest lap time so far will be this one if this continues, but into the right hand side for the Melbourne hairpin. Half a second, 0.7 of a second, it could go up a little bit higher. Rossi's just taken Lorenzo. Lorenzo has retaken Rossi now into Goddard's. It's going to be a 1 second advantage just briefly there, and across the line we will go to take the victory and also complete the objectives. So part 1 is complete of A Day to Remember on the Season 9 2009 game mode, so we now have part 2. Still using Andrea Dovizioso on board the Repsol Honda, but now our challenge is to go up against the World Championship leader Valentino Rossi, duel with him and finish in the first position, and also pass him before the third lap of the challenge. But into the Schwann's Curve, we carried a lot of speed there. Now for the inside of McLean's, it's going to be a small amount of contact for turn 7, pushing Rossi onto the rumble strips, and Dovi has taken over at the front, and it could very well be a case of just churning out the lap times now. In these treacherous conditions here in Donington, we have to be absolutely perfect from this point onwards. Still sticking with Power Setting 2, I liked the feeling of the bike with this one. Power Setting 3 gave me a bit too much. Whoa, whoa, what a moment. Getting caught on the rumble strip there was really scary. We are still ahead of Rossi, but Rossi fights back, of course, giving him the position after a little bit of a mess into the S's. But my goodness, I got really caught on the rumble strip there and I couldn't do a thing. The bike just got completely stuck on it. The rear tyre gripped and I couldn't do anything. That was a scary moment here in Donington, but back to the drawing board, as it were. Into Goddard's half a second quicker, or at least half a second ahead of Rossi on the timing sheets right now, but across the line it's going to be a very slow lap from Andrea Dovizioso. Not slow enough that Pedrosa could catch us up. He's just approaching Goddard's now, so it's not a case of being battled or at least being pressured into more mistakes. And the mistakes we're going to make now is if Rossi somehow generates some more speed, but for the time being we're looking pretty comfortable, although we did run it a little bit deep going into turn 2 for a brief moment there, but into creating curves in turn 4 we should be alright. Yes, gaining the time, 0.6 of a second clear from Valentino now. We do have quite the advantage. We should be pretty solid here, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, I will be here in Donington Park in a good couple of weeks' time for the World Superbike round, the British GP round of World Superbike, and honestly, I can't wait. I'm going to be there at a Ride for BMW trailer, so hopefully if you see me there, you'll come and say hello, and I can also give you some pointers, tips and tricks on Ride 4 or even MotoGP 22, so definitely come and say hello if you're there. So firm on the brakes, we'll go then for the S's for the second time of asking, nice and tight, a little bit more gentle this time around, and my goodness, that is a very harsh track limit warning. I didn't really feel like we gained any additional time by just ever so slightly getting the rear tyre onto the grass there, but hey ho, it is what it is. 1 second clear from Valentino now. I do believe this is the breaking point for Rossi. Dovizioso in the wet in 2009 was just a force to be reckoned with, and of course after the disastrous performance from both Lorenzo and Rossi both crashing, only Rossi was able to regain and remount back onto the bike and reclaim 5th position, which we do believe we'll be doing within these sequences of Season 9 2009 game mode. But slipping the rear into turn 1 there, nicely done. We last seen that when I was using Wayne Gardner actually, as a matter of fact, right here in Donington just a couple of days ago, possibly last week now at this point, as we go firm on the brakes for turn 4. Keeping it nice and tight to the apex there, 0.3 of a second clear from the previous lap time. This could be a 1:32, beckoning the man on board the Repsol Honda. So we now go to the left-hand side of us slightly and then just slowly regain the confidence and regain the composure to get into turn 7. A little bit slippy on the entry for turn 6 there into turn 7. We're now into Coppice for turn 8, running it deep. Careful on the rumble strip, ladies and gentlemen, because wet conditions, wet rumble strips, means nothing but disaster. We're really making a mess of this one. Really slipping and sliding all over the place. Not really my best work so far. Certainly doing what we can, but the conditions right now are really treacherous. And I've got to say, is this my first time riding in the wet in MotoGP 22? I think it might be. The last time I think I did it was online, and you can tell things are not going as planned for Andrea Dovizioso and DrAce right now. Quick check of the tyres, and we do have the softer option tyres, so I guess I would have preferred the medium at probably this stage of the Grand Prix, but it is what it is. I'm not entirely sure if they had medium wet tyres back in the day. Michelin tyres we have now, but of course Bridgestone was it back then, so I don't really know if they did have different combinations. I don't really remember. It's been a long time since I watched a Grand Prix from 2009, which wasn't the Catalunya battle, of course. But now coming out to turn 2, we're going to try and line it up for the third corner here for Craner Curves. Kind of prefer going a little bit tighter to the apex. And I've got to confess, got to be honest with you guys, not my best work here today. I do think I've made too many mistakes. We are still in the lead and we are going to definitely nail this challenge, but I do feel like we could have done a lot better in today's video. But it is what it is. I'm still going to be happy with completing the objective, but I would like to spend a bit more time in the wet conditions in MotoGP 22, because I basically finished my entire Moto 3 career mode without a single wet race, which I'm really surprised at. Not one single wet session. Now last year was obviously very different, where a lot of us had constant wet sessions. Well, this time around, a lot different. But into the S's, also a lot different. We actually tackled that with pretty good precision and we're now 0.6 of a second clear from the previous lap time for 1:33.136, but now hard on the brakes going into the Melbourne hairpin, nice and tight to the apex, bringing on the power. 0.8 of a second clear, almost 0.7. We lost a little bit of time up on the acceleration, but that is going to be job well and truly done. Done and dusted for Andrea Dovizioso as he takes his first victory here in Donington and takes his first victory in MotoGP. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you would like to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.